Hello dear friend, and welcome to On This Day SMR with me, Edward Hertz, where we take a look back through history at events which took place on this day. As you can hear, the rain is gently pittering and pattering away on the window, and the fire is crackling away nicely in the hearth. So, put your headphones on, sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back through time. Today is Friday the 5th of January 2024, and we have 36 historical events to cover, going all the way back to the year 1477. Starting with the most recent event, 2 years ago in 2022, Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev dismisses Prime Minister Askar Mamin and declares state of emergency over the 2022 Kazakh unrest. 10 years ago in 2014, a launch of the communication satellite GSAT-14 aboard the GSLV Mark II D5 marks the first successful flight of an Indian cryogenic engine. 19 years ago in 2005, the dwarf planet Eris is discovered by Palomar Observatory-based astronomers, later motivating the International Astronomical Union to define the term planet for the first time. 31 years ago in 1993, the oil tanker MV Brea runs aground on the coast of the Shetland Islands, spilling 84,700 tons of crude oil. 33 years ago in 1991, Georgian forces enter Skinner Valley, the capital of South Ossetia, Georgia, opening the 1991-92 South Ossetia War. In the same year, the United States Embassy in Somalia, in Mogadishu, is evacuated by helicopter airlift days after the outbreak of violence in Mogadishu. 48 years ago in 1976, the Khmer Rouge announced that the new constitution of Democratic Kampuchea is ratified. 48 years ago in 1976, gunmen shoot dead 10 Protestant civilians after stopping their minibus at Kingsmill in County Armagh, Northern Ireland, UK, allegedly as retaliation for a string of attacks on Catholic civilians in the area by loyalists, particularly the killing of 6 Catholics the night before. 49 years ago in 1975, the Tasman Bridge in Tasmania, Australia, is struck by the bulk ore carrier Lake Illawarra, killing 12 people. 52 years ago in 1972, US President Richard Nixon announces the Space Shuttle program. 54 years ago in 1970, the 7.1 magnitude Tongai earthquake shakes Tongai County, Yunnan Province, China, with a maximum Mercalli intensity of X, extreme. Between 10,000 and 15,000 people are known to have been killed, and about another 26,000 are injured. 55 years ago in 1969, the Venera 5 space probe is launched at 06:28:08 UTC from Baikonur. In the same year, Ariana Afghan Airlines Flight 701 crashes in Fernhill, West Sussex, while on approach to Gatwick Airport, killing 50 people. 56 years ago, in 1968, Alexander Dubček comes to power in Czechoslovakia, effectively beginning the Prague Spring. 57 years ago in 1967, the Shanghai People's Commune is established following the seizure of power from local city officials by revolutionaries. 67 years ago in 1957, in a speech given to the United States Congress, United States President Dwight D. Eisenhower announces the establishment of what will later be called the Eisenhower Doctrine. 71 years ago in 1953, the play Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett received its premiere in Paris. 75 years ago in 1949, in his State of the Union address, United States President Harry S. Truman unveils his Fair Deal program. "79 years ago in 1945, the Soviet Union recognizes the new pro-Soviet provisional government of the Republic of Poland. 80 years ago in 1944, the Daily Mail becomes the first major London newspaper to be published on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. 83 years ago in 1941, Amy Johnson, a 37-year-old pilot and the first woman to fly solo from London to Australia, disappears after bailing out of her plane over the River Thames and is presumed dead. 91 years ago in 1933, construction of the Golden Gate Bridge begins in San Francisco Bay. 99 years ago in 1925, Nellie Taylor Ross of Wyoming becomes the first female governor in the United States. 105 years ago in 1919, the German Workers' Party, which would become the Nazi Party, is founded in Munich. 110 years ago in 1914, the Ford Motor Company announces an 8-hour workday, a minimum daily wage of $5 in salary plus bonuses. 111 years ago in 1913, the Battle of Lemnos begins. Greek Admiral Pavlos Kounteriotis forces the Turkish fleet to retreat to its base within the Dardanelles, from which it did not venture for the rest of the war. 112 years ago in 1912, the 6th All-Russian Conference of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party, Prague Party Conference, opens. In the course of the conference, Vladimir Lenin and his supporters break from the rest of the party to form the Bolshevik movement. 113 years ago in 1911, Kappa Alpha Psi, the world's third oldest and largest black fraternity, is founded at Indiana University. 124 years ago in 1900, Irish nationalist leader John Edward Redmond calls for revolt against British rule. 129 years ago in 1895, French army officer Alfred Dreyfus is stripped of his rank and sentenced to life imprisonment on Devil's Island. 149 years ago in 1875, the Palais Garnier, one of the most famous opera houses in the world, is inaugurated in Paris. 202 years ago, in 1822, the government of Central America votes for total annexation to the first Mexican Empire. 243 years ago, in 1781, Richmond, Virginia is burned by British naval forces led by former American General Benedict Arnold. 267 years ago, in 1757, Louis XV of France survives an assassination attempt by Robert Francois Damiens, who becomes the last person to be executed in France by drawing and quartering, the traditional form of capital punishment used for regicides. 349 years ago, in 1675, the French army beats Brandenburg. And finally, 547 years ago, in 1477, Charles the Bold is defeated and killed in a conflict with René II, Duke of Lorraine. Burgundy subsequently becomes part of France. Okay, so that is all we have for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you found our little trip back through history both relaxing and informative. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leaving a comment below. Please also consider subscribing to the channel. It will really help the channel to grow and will also ensure that you are notified of all of my future videos. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.